is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this episode, we're going over my 2024 BMW M1000 Single R because it is currently raining out. This is not the video that I want to be making right now, but I figured my bike is at a pretty good point with the modifications that I've done to it. I've still got a little bit of work to do on this bike, but it's at a point where I'm pretty freaking happy with the mods that I've got on it. But we're gonna kick it off with the frame sliders. That was the first mod that I did to my 2024 BMW M1000 Single R. If you guys don't know, frame sliders are super crucial, super important to do to your motorcycle right away, because if you were to drop it in the parking lot or in the middle of the street or anything like that, you're gonna want those frame sliders. Frame sliders are so much freaking more cheap than your fairings. And yeah, I know on this bike, the wings are probably gonna hit first and snap off, but after you snap your wings on your M1000 Single R, you've got the frame sliders there to save your frame, to save your fairings, save all the stuff that really matters to you. So that was the first thing that I did on my motorcycle here. I got the Rizoma frame sliders. I think they match the bike absolutely perfectly. I think the blue on them is so freaking nice. I am super obsessed with the frame sliders on here. I did the frame sliders and I did the axle sliders as well, and I think they match with this M1000 color so freaking perfectly. And then I did the rear spools. Obviously after that, if you guys don't know, you need rear spools to be able to clean your chain, do chain maintenance, change your tires, all that good stuff. So I got the rear spools right from BMW, the M version. I think they look absolutely phenomenal. So after the frame sliders, I got the radiator guards, a super essential part to your motorcycle. It's absolutely one of the first things that you guys should do to your motorcycle, because I've been out on rides before where a friend of mine got a rock in the radiator, leaked out all his rad fluid, had to tow his bike home. Not fun at all. So I got the rad guards straight from BMW. They clip into your stock fairings absolutely perfectly. I think they're so freaking amazing. They're the plastic ones. They're not the fancy metal ones or anything like that, but super important. Guys, get radiator guards for your motorcycle. Make it a priority to be the first thing you get on your motorcycle, because that's the last thing you want to be doing is out for a ride, get a rock in the radiator, leak out all your rad fluid, and we know it's super important to not overheat your engine. I think the BMW one is perfectly fine. I didn't want to invest a bunch of money and get a carbon fiber one or anything like that when you really don't see it a whole lot. Also, I know we're going through kind of the boring parts of my motorcycle. You guys want to hear about the carbon fiber, all that good stuff, and we're going to get to that a little bit later in this video, but we got to get the protection components out of the way first. The next thing on my M1000 that I put on here was the screen protector. Not really anything too crazy, but you guys got to protect these screens. These screens on these new BMWs are so freaking expensive. If anything were to happen to them, you're probably out $2,000–$3,000. I don't know what they cost, but I know they're freaking expensive. When I bought this bike, the dealer said that was an absolute must, was to put a screen protector on your brand new freaking BMW 2024 bike. So I got the screen protector directly from BMW. I think it was around $100, worth every penny. I haven't had a scratch. So if you guys have seen some of my earlier videos, you know I complained right away about the seat on this bike here. I couldn't ride it for more than 20–30 minutes without my tuchus hurting so freaking bad. So the next mod I did on this bike was invest in a Sergeant seat. Well, actually I invested in Ripple underwear. They were nothing special. And then I decided to actually spend some real money and get a Sergeant seat. And it's been absolutely incredible. Aside from the little minor defect on it, which, I mean, it's cosmetic, but it is so much more freaking comfortable, guys. If you guys are riding your M1000, your S1000, and your tuchus is hurting, definitely look into the Sergeant seats. If anyone in the comments has a Corbin seat, let me know down in the comments, because I think that's the seat I probably should have got, because they look so freaking incredible. I think it's a higher quality seat, maybe, but I don't know. I've never actually seen one in person. But the Sergeant seat, I have a whole video. I have 2 videos out about that. If you guys are curious about the Sergeant seat on my M1000 Single R, watch that video, because it is absolutely incredible. I love this seat. I can go on long rides. I can do 8-hour rides now without my tuchus hurting so freaking much, because we all know on sports bikes that is a major problem. They weren't built for comfort. They weren't built for long rides by any stretch. So I've got the Sergeant seat on here and I'm absolutely loving it. The next thing I did on my M1000 Single R was get a Quadlock. You guys know Quadlock. They're absolutely amazing, and it was so freaking easy to hook up the wireless charging with this bike here, because it actually has a USB under the tail section. It's a little bit of a pain to run your wire all the way to the back, but still so much freaking easier than hooking it up to the battery, all that nonsense. Just hook it right into the USB. It shuts off. It's not going to kill your battery, anything like that. So on long rides, I've got an iPhone 12 Pro and the battery is absolutely shot on it. So having this Quadlock on here is so freaking nice to be able to charge your phone after work and not have to worry about your phone dying or anything like that. So highly recommend the Quadlock mount for your bike. You guys know Quadlock. I don't have to say too much about it, but it is an absolutely incredible piece of equipment to have on your motorcycle. I know so many people out there with RAM mounts that lose their freaking phone, and I just won't use a ram mount anymore because I've seen so many bad things happen to a close friend of mine, to other people I know, losing their phone on the highways. You guys absolutely need a Quadlock, and Quadlock didn't sponsor this video, FYI. So next on the list is the tank stickers. I got them right before I went to the track. If you guys are doing any kind of track riding, any kind of leaning over, you need tank stickers. I decided to go with the clear stomp grip ones. I think they're absolutely amazing. I've got the M logo on the side of the tank there, so I absolutely had to get the clear ones. I did not want to cover up that nice M badge on there, so super freaking nice. I decided to get the Volcano ones. They're a little bit more grippy. I've heard that they tear up your leathers a bit more, but I don't do a whole lot of track riding, so I'm not too worried about that. I decided to get those. I think they're absolutely amazing. I would get them again, and I actually did get them again on my S1000RR. And then as far as the tank sticker on the front there, I got the expensive $100 BMW one because I just couldn't justify getting one of the cheap ones. It looks absolutely amazing. It's definitely way overpriced, but I think it looks incredible. So now that all the protection components are out of the way, we can get into the stuff that you guys are probably a little bit more interested in, the cosmetic things. I decided to do some carbon fiber on here. I've only done 2 pieces so far, and I'm absolutely addicted. I see what the addiction is. It's like when people say tattoos are addicting, carbon fiber is also freaking addicting. You want to do every piece and part of your motorcycle because it looks so freaking cool, it looks so freaking amazing, and it's lighter, you know, so you're saving, so it's weight savings, obviously. Nothing to do with the aesthetics. But anyways, I decided to do the part under the seat that goes up to the tank there, and I decided to do the front fender. I did the front fender first because I scratched the absolute shit of my front fender. It had the little reflectors on there, and I was an idiot, and I used my fingernail to scrape off the extra glue, so I did the front fender. I'm so freaking pumped. I went with Maxi Carbon. I have a whole video out about Maxi Carbon. I think it's an absolutely amazing product. I think it is one of the top carbon fiber sources out there. It's reasonably priced. It looks absolutely amazing. It ships pretty quick right out of Italy. Super freaking nice product. I am definitely going to be reaching out to them again and getting some more carbon fiber for my motorcycle because it just absolutely transforms the bike so freaking much, makes it look so much more nice than the boring matte plastic that this bike comes with. Also, if you guys are wondering about the fitment of Maxi Carbon, I am an absolute idiot when it comes to any kind of mechanics, and I was able to install this stuff relatively easy. There was basically no modifications to the fairings or anything like that. It just clipped on, it replaced the stock part. Pretty much 99% perfect. So if an idiot like me can do an install of this carbon fiber, you guys can absolutely install this yourself. There is no modifications really required. I think I had to cut one fairing, the tiniest little bit to get one of the clips to go in. But other than that, super amazing product, and you guys will see some more carbon fiber on my M1000 Single R. Next up on the list is the mirrors on here. I decided to go with the CRG lane splitter mirrors and the Rhino bar end. I'm gonna do an entire video, so I'm not gonna go into too much depth with this. I haven't fully been able to test this bike out too much with these mirrors because it's been raining out. I've only had a couple rides on it, but they are absolutely amazing. I think they look so much better than the stock mirrors, and they function so much better than the stock mirrors. You can actually see out of your mirrors when you're on the highway. If you guys have seen some of my previous videos, you know that I complain about the mirrors, the stock mirrors that come on there. They're absolutely useless after about 100 kilometers an hour. I cannot wait to start riding this bike a little bit more with these mirrors and actually be able to use them on the highway as opposed to the stock ones. So next up on the list isn't really a mod, but I changed the stock tires on here. After I went to the track, I kind of melted my tires. I used them up. They started feeling greasy. So I've upgraded from the stock tires and I got the Pirelli Diablo Rosa Corsa 4s. They're on the 4 now. They used to be the 2s. I used to always get the 2s. Now they're the 4s. They're an absolutely incredible tire. They're a triple compound tire. They're hard in the middle, a little bit stickier on the sides, and as you get right to the outside there, they're a Super Corsa tire. Super Corsa tires are only going to last you about 2,000–3,000 kilometers. They're going to be more sticky than the Diablo Rosa Corsa 4s, but I get about 8,000 kilometers on a set of tires, and I think that's an absolutely amazing amount of kilometers for a really sticky tire on the streets and on the track. It absolutely outperforms any riding that I can do, so I highly recommend these tires. I always get the Pirellis. So the next thing on this list is by far the coolest thing of this motorcycle here. It is the exhaust. I went with the full Acro titanium exhaust. I've got an entire video about that. If you guys want to hear this thing, I'll put a couple clips in here so that you guys can hear this thing freaking roar. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Holy fuck. I think it is the coolest exhaust on the market. It's the best looking exhaust on the market. They make an amazing product. I think it's by far the best exhaust you guys can get out there. So this thing is an absolute menace to society. If you guys want the loudest possible sounding bike, the best sounding bike, definitely go with the Acro full titanium exhaust. I can't not wait for this thing to start turning blue all the way along. It is going to match the BMW M logos, all that good stuff so freaking much. Such an amazing exhaust, and you save a ton of weight getting rid of that stock cat, that stock exhaust under that hideous looking thing that BMW puts on their bike for emissions. So highly recommend getting a full titanium Acro exhaust. I think it just looks so much better than the stainless steel stuff. I don't know what the sound difference is. I think titanium is a little bit louder, sounds a little bit better, but I would love to do a comparison titanium versus stainless to see what the difference actually is. If anyone out there has a full stainless steel exhaust with the Acro stubby on there, let me know down in the comments. If you guys are local to Vancouver, I would absolutely love to make a video comparison of stainless versus titanium. Let me know down in the comments. So after installing the exhaust on this bike, I had to go with the BT Moto. Those guys are just proven. They were the first in the game to crack the BMW, so I went with the BT Moto tuner. Stage 1, I've just got the Stage 1 on here. I'm debating on going on the Stage 2. Let me know down in the comments if you guys think it's worth it spending the extra $300 USD to get the Stage 2 kit, the velocity stacks on your M1000, your S1000, all that good stuff. But I'm absolutely loving this frickin' tune on here. If you guys have seen any of my videos, or if you guys own this bike, you know that this bike and the S1000 comes with huge restrictions from the factory. It has a major flat spot around 8,000 RPMs, and getting this BT Moto took away all of that. This bike feels like how it should have felt from the factory. It has all the power in the mid-range, all the power in the top end right now, and it makes the bike run so much smoother. It also gets rid of that annoying high revving cold start that I absolutely hated on this bike. You always had to let your bike warm up, because if you tried kicking it in gear when it was doing that high rev, it just sounded like you were hurting the bike. BT Moto cleans that up. It makes a huge difference. I don't know why BMW had to release the bike the way they did, but BT Moto comes in, saves the day, gives you a bunch of power in the mid-range, gives you a bunch of power in the top end. It is an absolutely essential thing to do to your guys' bikes, is tune your bikes, especially after you do a full system exhaust. You probably should tune your bike anyway, because your bike's gonna run lean. Also, as soon as it stops raining, that is the video I wanted to be filming today, was doing a before and after with the BT Moto, but it is raining cats and dogs out there right now. If you guys aren't from Vancouver, it rains all winter long. It's super hard to get a ride in the winter, but I will be making a video showing you the before and the after in the mid-range with the BT Moto tune. Cannot wait to film that video. Coming soon to a video near you, before and after BT Moto Stage 1. Let's go. So the last mod on my M1000 single R that I have not installed, I've actually got to go pick it up today, is an Evotech Fender Eliminator. I've seen the pictures. They look absolutely amazing. They take these stock signal lights. There's no real modifications. You don't have to change the signal lights. I actually don't mind how the signal lights look on the stock bike here, and I never really minded the fender that it had on this bike here. It's not that huge, ugly, gross one. That's why I didn't prioritize getting a Fender Eliminator on this bike right away. Not like the older bikes, not like my S1000RR that has that humongous fender on there. I've already got a Fender Eliminator for that. I just got to install it, but cannot wait to get this on this bike here. So that's going to do it for the current mods that I have on my 2024 BMW M1000 single R. There's lots of mods to go, but I'm at a point where I think I'm happy with the mods that I've got on this bike. It's not embarrassing riding around with that vacuum cleaner exhaust that I had on this bike. You can actually hear the damn thing now. Leave a comment down below letting me know what mods you think I should do to this bike. Obviously, we got to do more carbon fiber. We got to do a couple more things. I've got another big mod coming to this bike soon. This winter here, maybe in a few videos, it will be done. It's probably going to be after Christmas sometime, but I cannot wait to get this mod done. I think it's going to absolutely transform this bike. You guys are going to be so freaking blown away with what mod I'm going to do to this bike in the future. I'm not going to spoil it today. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably know what mod I'm going to do. I did a poll on there, but I'm not going to spoil it for you YouTubers. The story's gone, the story's vanished. Leave a comment below letting me know what mods you think I should do, guys. So with that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Let your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa know what mods I've done to my 2024 BMW M1000 single R. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.